skirmishes, very spread out team fights. A pick like with this Ashe ult can net the win in these fights.
We're going to see the Kai'Sa coming through from Puff. And we have seen Kai'Sa like as this periphery pick to the meta where when all of the really strong AD carries do get banned out, we do quite often see this Kai'Sa sneaking through. But surprised to see it picked over an Ezreal.
I'm still a little bit surprised as well, especially since it will struggle a bit in lane against the Ashe. Ashe is notorious for having that long-range volley that could be a nuisance for Kai'Sa, and especially since you don't have a lot of disengages, if you do get caught in that flurry, you can go down or at least get stuck in that slow.
So the Wukong is going to be the lock-in for Chalitza up in the top lane, so going to stick with his comfort pick here. He's played it 4 times so far this split, and this will be his 5th. And we could well see this flex pick of the Karma locked in. Like, let's bear in mind that that can be moved to multiple positions. Honestly, when you see a support locked in for the side of DMO, you're never quite sure whether it's going down to the support role or if it's going to be for Twyla in the mid lane.
I wasn't sure if they were going to go for a support lock in here though. As we said, 2 new supports on the Rift. Getting a bit of comfort for these guys definitely helps out. But it looks like instead they're prioritizing Xiaopeng, saying, look, we want this Lee Sin. We want the dominant matchup when it comes to the jungle, and that's the way you get it.
They're also going to be seeing the Volibear coming on through here for... I'm going to assume that's for the Shy in the top lane.
We don't know though. We have seen the flexibility from this pick where it can go jungle, can go topside, so there's still not a huge amount known as to where that pick is going to go right now.
And actually, the more you think about it, they never pick for the Shy in the first rotation. Especially when they're on the red side, IG always picks for the Shy last. Or actually, no, that's not even true. Sometimes they just blind Jace.
Yeah, that's the other one. So, I mean, look, they do sometimes leave it towards that second rotation, but you often, more so on blue side, see that blind Jace, but definitely we'll have to see how they want to go forward here. I imagine that is still why they're going with the Volibears, to give that flexibility there, because it does do relatively well into the Wukong, which we, again, is, well, we're obvious now is going towards that top side, so you're still working well here with the Shy, where you've got the counter pick, you've got that winning matchup, but still flexibility.
So I do just want to quickly mention that Morgana ban that's come on through. Obviously, great into a matchup with Thresh. It's also one of the most played champions for you across his career. It was his 6th most played across his career. So, but also, it's the kind of mid laner you could imagine Twyla going towards. It is that kind of supporting mid laner. It's certainly not meta, but Twyla generally doesn't seem to care that much about the meta. As we do move towards the second round of picks here, it's going to be a jungler taken away from Ning and the former Java.
Yeah, we're going to see the jungler locked in here, which gives us confirmation that is the Volibear going topside. I wasn't sure if they wanted to try and keep that flexibility there with the Volibear, or if they just wanted to go towards jungler. I'm happy for Ning to go towards this Olaf. I think it provides enough here where they can try and go against Xiaopeng in the early stages of the game, and a lot of gank pressure as well, because when you look at the DMO lineup, you've got Ashe who will struggle with the slows, same with this Wukong, so the gank pressure is super high for Ning right now.
Do you see the Braum locked in for Yui here? We'll see how that's going to work out. A very defensive support pick, not something we see all too often these days, but hey, at least they've got synergy in that bot lane with the double Freljord theme going on.
Yeah, a lot of slows, a lot of punishment if you do get caught. So when I'm Xiaopeng now, I'm thinking, okay, I've got a bottom lane I can play potentially around, where we've got this volley to slow down Kai'Sa, and then we can start to set up a play in that bottom lane. You've still got topside, although it'll be a little bit difficult with the burst potential from Volibear. Mid lane, though, I think the Xiaopeng will be looking to avoid to a certain extent. You've gone for this Azir. You imagine Rookie is going to take something that will punish pretty heavily. Could even go for something like the Echo if you really want to, but we'll have to see what that final pick is going to be.
Let's see where Rookie's going to go with a Galio. This is a pretty not Rookie pick. This is the first time he'll be playing at this split. When you think of Rookie, you think of Rookie trying to dominate lane. You don't think of the Galio.
We have seen IG swap away from this style though, right? We've seen the Twisted Fate come out. We've seen a little bit of the Lissandra, even the Karma in the mid lane for him. So I know there was a lot of bans towards him with that Karma pick, but still, IG are looking to flex around a little bit, and I like what they've got here. So you've got this super strong team comp that can fight when Kai'Sa hits her 2 items. You've even got this still pseudo-supportive style for Kai'Sa where she can dive into the backline and be the one that helps to set up this Galio alongside the likes of the Volibear. So a lot of dive potential here on Invictus Gaming when they get to those team fights. So it'll be on the Braum, it'll be on the Azir from DMO's side to look to reset these fights, and especially when they've got that later game scaling in the Azir, they can look to play towards that little bit of a later game, but definitely this is going to be Brawl central when we get to the mid game.
I'm certainly hoping so, but honestly, even with IG playing things like the Galio, I can easily see a world where it becomes Brawl Central far before the mid game. We've seen it plenty of times in the past where IG just kind of force the issue. I'm curious about this top lane though. We've got Volibear for the Shy. This is a guy that wants to dominate the lane, and this is a pick that has been doing exceptionally well at dominating the lane.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good for the Volibear in that top side. I think the Shy is going to look to continue it here, especially we kind of had to touch on it before that Wukong Stone Skin will give armor, will give health regen, but the issue with Volibear is he's actually got a fair amount of AP put into his kit. It's on his passive, it's on the Sky Splitter as well, so you're finding it a little bit difficult to trade against him, not only because of it's a Volibear, but also because his kit does a lot against Wukong.
Well, we're heading on to Summoner's Rift, boys and girls, as we get into our first game of the day, IG against DMO. And we'll see what DMO have up their sleeves, because they've certainly got a mountain to climb. Like, let's not sugarcoat it too much. This is IG they're up against. IG, one of the top teams in the league. They've proven it time and time again, finishing first place in spring when it came to the round robin. It was fourth place overall after playoffs, but still a commanding performance from them. And now, coming into summer, it feels like they've kind of warmed into this roster. The big question is going to be how those supports do as they make their LPL debuts.
Be curious to see how the jungle goes here as well, because I feel like Ning is going to be playing pretty heavily towards topside. You've got this super dive-heavy comp that can work with the Shy, disabling the tower. Then you got Rookie coming in with the ult and Ning powering through as well. So I think Chalitza is going to be in a lot of trouble when we do get to that level 6 point. So DMO have the potential to try and work with Xiaopeng in these earlier stages to take the lanes back a little bit in their favor, but they need to get out and work it early.
I'm sort of curious which version of IG we're going to see today as well, because as we mentioned before, we have seen them starting to slow down a little bit in their speed of play, not necessarily just looking to brute force wins in the same way. With this Galio pick, it does lend towards them maybe playing more towards this, not necessarily slow style, but team-based style as opposed to just brute forcing a win.
You say that, but this is also a team that likes to just go for these aggressive skirmishes, and it's great to have Rookie who can join in at a moment's notice. Xiaopeng, though.
Look what happened during playoffs. It was the Shy getting camped every game and dying an awful lot. Chalitza starts the fight off as Xiaopeng makes his way into the lane. Flash away from Chalitza, and that means the Shy goes down, and DMO get first blood.
And that is exactly what we wanted to see from DMO. When you know there's going to be pressure towards the top side later in the game, try and get some help for Chalitza in the early stages, and that's exactly what they do, picking up that early kill. And Chalitza now, at least will be able to get a refillable potion to help him through this early laning.
Look, when we looked at what happened in playoffs, when we looked at what happened to MSC as well, the way that teams were beating IG was just focusing on the Shy, make sure he gets behind and then win elsewhere on the map while he can't fight back in the top lane. So far, it feels like DMO have done their homework.
Ooh, Twyla putting in good work against Rookie in this mid lane, and right now, DMO are doing a relatively good job. But as we start to get towards the one-item spike, you'll still see Shubin doing really well. Chalitza won't be able to match that spike, though, which is unfortunate because he wants to go for the Triforce, which is far more expensive and a little bit more difficult to get. So we're still going to see a little bit of a hang-on moment for DMO where they're trying to get some of these core items completed onto Twyla, onto Chalitza, before looking to fight for some of these early objectives. But at least with the pressure Shubin and Yui should have in this bottom lane, they can have Xiaopeng play towards draft.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that bottom lane matchup once again. Ash versus Kai'Sa, it feels pretty one-sided in favor of Ash, especially in the very early stages of the game. Even more so if you've got a pool party skin, boys and girls. But as well, Braum actually exceptionally strong in the early phases of a lane, just because of his passive alone.
And as we talked about, pairing it with Ashe as well, the slows are obnoxious to try and deal with. And once you get hit by one, you're pretty much guaranteed to end up in that stun thanks to concussive blows. So I want to see, as well, we can already see IG's bot lane playing very passive as a result. And if Xiaopeng wants to play towards these dragons, he can.
They're going to be clearing away his Gromp here. As you can see, both junglers right now on this bottom half of the map. Yui making his way around the map here, going to be able to clear some vision, but you expect him to be moving back down towards his bottom lane now that he's been spotted. I was hoping he'd maybe try and make a play to mid.
A lot of vision already put in by Rookie, though. You can see a ward just beside the Raptors, and that ward that just got cleared out by Yui, so they still have a lot that they can work with here on information as to where Xiaopeng is going to be.
question will be, what do they do with that information? How do they play around that one? But as we mentioned before, DMO are going to be quite happy to just kind of wait until that level 6 mark, wait until they've got a couple of items, especially Twyla is going to take a while before he really comes online with this Azir. But also, one thing that DMO can do is if IG misposition just 1 or 2 members, Ashe really activates at that point. Even without items, just the arrow alone can set up a massive play.
Yeah, you've kind of got options here as DMO. You can go for this big team fight that we're talking about. If you start to fall behind, you do have the pick potential that can come in with Shubin, with Xiaopeng as well, having that dragon kick. So you still got multiple facets you can work with, but they will more than likely be looking for these big team fight setups at objectives where they can use the Ashe ult at least to set up those fights and then be able to prevent the rest of IG from playing overly aggressive with the ultimates coming through from the Azir and from the Braum.
Do you see Xiaopeng hovering around this top side right now? The ward in the brush is going to ruin everything for him. And he realizes he's not going to be able to make this play. But Ning is here as well. We could have a fight on our hands here, Dagda.
But this is the thing. 2 level 6 are hit by the Shy and by Rookie. This is where they want to start using that combo we talked about. So Ning is going to start playing pretty heavily towards this top side. Luckily, though, DMO do spot him. Yeah. So they now know, okay, well, we're going to have Ning exiting top side of the map. He'll be back down towards the bottom side, and the Monkey King can breathe a little bit of relief.
Yeah, and the Shy, knowing that with his jungler recalling, he needs to be a little bit cautious on that one, decides to back away himself. He didn't have any vision of Xiaopeng, but with the control ward being placed earlier, he knew that he could have been hanging around there. So good safe play out of the side of both teams here on the top side. And now on towards the Drake. We're starting off with an Ocean Drake here, Dagda. This is certainly one worth fighting over, but I think IG just going to have a free ticket.
I thought that Shubin Yu might have been able to get this push in the bottom lane to allow DMO to go for this dragon, but it looks like just off of the wave bouncing and Xiaopeng hovering towards that top side, they're not confident that they want to go towards dragon, especially now that level 6 has been hit by Rookie. They needed to try and grab that a little bit sooner, so now IG should be able to start these dragons rolling in their favor.
Good start for IG here. The next one will be that Infernal as well. So another valuable dragon to grab. And we'll have either a Mountain or a Cloud Soul for us here today. Xiaopeng now has moved down to the bottom side of the map. And he's been pretty active so far trying to look for plays around the map. But one issue that he's got is he's against an Olaf. Ning is going to farm up an absolute storm. And if Xiaopeng can't make those plays, he's just going to fall behind.
Yeah, I was curious to see how heavily he wants to play towards topside. The Shy is on a bruiser at the end of the day, and if you start to fall behind on this volley bear, you can't do a huge amount. Nice trade there from Puff. But I was curious to see how heavily he wanted to prioritize playing through this top side of the map, but instead has decided to now start backing away, not finding the success because the Shy's been placing ward after ward, having Ning cover him as well. So we're starting to see that IG, just off of the CS lead, have picked up a bit of a goal.
Yeah, just look at that CS lead as well. 30 in favor of the Shy. And this is the power of the volley bear, right? There are very few matchups that he's going to struggle in. We saw yesterday the Renekton can be a really good answer to this volley bear if you're aggressive and trying to abuse that 1v1. But Wukong, notorious for struggling a little bit during the early laning phase, but also his passive isn't going to protect you from any of that magic damage. Volibear does quite a lot of magic.
Now we're starting to see the map movements though for Rift Herald, so need to be careful here on DMO's side. They had opted to send Shubin down towards the bottom side initially, but now moving him up to try and fight.
Hang on, we've got a fight here because Yui moving in. The Shy going to jump away, but concussive blows will stack real quick. Stun comes through. The shield is there, but it's not going to be enough. Flash from the Shy. He gets himself to safety. Now Ning's moving in. We could have some trouble on our hands for DMO. Chalitza and Yui trying to get away. The shield is going to keep Yui alive for a second here. Kick back as Rookie is found by the rest of the team here. Flashes over the wall, but he's followed by Twyla to get the kill. Xiaopeng gets himself to safety, and it's all going the way of DMO, but Puff looking to capitalize here. He's flashing himself away now. Slow's coming through. Double for Chalitza as they close down on towards Reheal. In his debut game, he's going nowhere. Taken by Shubin.
And DMO were able to completely clean up that fight. The only member who survived was Puff. Chalitza and Yui do the fight that is needed on the top side. And even though it looks a little bit messy in River for DMO, they come out 5-1 at the end of the day.
DMO somehow mechanically outplaying IG here.
And this was beautiful here from DMO to realize, look, we can get onto Rookie, Great CC coming through from the Ash Arrow, lending itself to Xiaopeng's setup. And on the top side, the Shy ends up going down to Chalitza alongside Ning, so they just end up winning out once again. And at that point, you've got to run for the hills as IG. Rift Herald will be secured here by DMO. Actually, well, they don't decide to go first at the end of the day, but potential here to just go for a rinse and repeat.
I feel like they could have got the Herald there, honestly, off the back of that play, but deciding that they wanted to get back to these lanes. There is a massive wave here in the bottom side, so...
The problem here is, though, IG can just start up the Rift Herald for themselves. The Shy still has teleport. You've got Shubin now stuck on this bottom side, so you have that man advantage guaranteed for IG. A bit of a slip-up here from DMO.
And this is great macro, obviously, from IG, but you expect IG to be able to play the map. Or it's not, I mean, they're not even playing the map, right? They're just taking what has been given to them on a platter by DMO.
I feel like it's kind of basic by IG, to be honest. It's like, look, we just fought for this objective. Chances are you're going to see DMO try and go for it once again, but DMO, by sending Shubin bottom lane, concede that, and they're not even really in a position where they can try and trade back as effectively right now, because you've got Puff who can push him pretty hard in that top lane. You can already see IG are starting to teeter towards that top side to answer for any of these plays taken on the bottom.
At least Shubin will grab himself some plates. Bear in mind, this is an Ashe, so it does take a good while to stack the items up on Ashe to really hit any points where you're doing a lot of damage. So that will be one positive, that these solo plays go the way of Shubin.
And the thing here is that IG are trying to get Puff rolling. That's the game plan here. Puff is the main carry for this squad. So the fact you're trading all this gold onto Puff is a big no-no for DM.
Well, there we go. The tower goes down. IG, the one starting the ball rolling with that one. It is going to close this gold gap a little bit, but actually, DMO are nowhere to be seen. This could be a second tower, although we are starting to see an answer. IG still going to commit here.
But the resistances are so difficult to get through now as Ashe on the bottom side, so Shubin can't do anything. So there's more gold that's given over towards Puff.
Oh, hang on. Twyla's making a play in the mid lane, though, because they know everyone's up top side right now. Rookie gets the taunt onto Xiaopeng and just denies everything. He's too damn tanky, the Shy here as well. Yui comes in with the concussive blows, but it's Twyla and Yui that are suddenly in trouble. Everybody collapses, but flashes across the board, and DMO getting away for now. Xiaopeng here to try and protect his support, and they will get out with their lives.
DMO doing a decent job to get out, but because they don't make that play happen, they forego the dragon, and it's objectives galore going to IG.
Oh, but DMO, they're not having any of this one. Ning stunned up by the Ash Arrow, but straight on towards the dragon instead. Xiaopeng happy to just go for this one instead. The Shy is going to be sacrificed by the team of IG, and it's DMO with a kill and a dragon.
I spoke too soon. DMO managing to turn that play around, and even though it looked like they weren't going to be able to when you've already got that Azir ultimate invested, but with that teleport from Chalitza, they force back IG, that great ult from Shubin, and DMO get the dragon. I mean, at least they're starting to answer for some of the plays IG are putting.
This is great from the side of DMO. This is far more than I was honestly expecting to see from them. Now with a 2,000 gold lead, Chalitza can finish this tower off in the bottom lane, and you can see Shubin moving towards that mid lane himself. We actually have a fairly even match on our hands. And obviously IG, while they're down, they're still IG. But ultimately, DMO, they're showing up.
And the reason is IG's carries for this portion of the game are the Shy, who's 0-3 and forced to go Iceborne Gauntlet instead of the usual Trinity Force that we see. Rookie as well hasn't been able to have this big impact on the Galio because of the likes of Twyla and Shubin playing so far back. Puff is still working up for his items. He's the non-factor right now. So DMO are just finding these early fights that they have the advantage for.
So let's look towards the later stages of the game here and how these compositions are going to function. Because I'm expecting... In fact, before we talk about the late game, let's talk about what's coming up in the next few minutes. Because when it comes to these compositions, obviously you've got a bit of mid-game power in the form of the Wukong, in form of Lee Sin, in form of this Ashe with the Crystalline Arrow. But also an Azir. Azir doesn't really offer that much during the mid-game.
So he will offer plenty in this style of composition that IG is running. Because what IG wants to do is get in on top of you. You want to be jumping in with the Shy, with Ning, with Rookie. You want Puff to be using that killer instinct to follow up on this very dive-centric composition. So Twyla's job right now is to make sure that he resets those fights, doesn't give the opportunity for IG to find these easy engages. And it's the same when you look at the Braum. It's going to be using that Glacial Fissure to create distance for the backline, so it becomes a lot more difficult to try and operate this dive-centric.
actually. So gonna use his Cyclone here. Oh,
Reheal.
Reheal makes his debut in the LPL and finds heat-seeking hooks like that.
There's a reason that he was talked about coming into the LPL. Delighted to see him bringing out some of those mechanics. However, doesn't mean that they'll be able to get too much done here, because looks like that turret's still relatively healthy, and the rest of IG will be moving back towards mid to stop any sort of push.
Rookie knows that he's in a little bit of trouble here. Everyone from his team was on that bottom side of the map, so he fully respects that Xiaopeng could have been in the wings. He was, and it means that a tower will go the way of DMO, but at least Rookie, because of that respect, won't go down himself. Now Ning moves to this bottom side.
They could have a man advantage here for DMO in mid, though, and Shubin does have that Ash ult, so Puff and Reheal will have to play very carefully. I'm hoping we'd see DMO move a little bit faster and try and make use of this man advantage, but not going to be the case. Instead, they're kind of just hovering towards that top lane.
Yeah, and I think Xiaopeng just going to be recalling on this one, so not making the play. I think maybe respecting the fact that IG could be quite aggressive on this bottom side of the map.
Well, see, the idea here is you've got that push already in the top lane. You can just move everyone across. If Puff and Reheal try to stay, you just Ash ult into Puff or Reheal. Pick them off. You've Xiaopeng come over with the Dragon Kick. You have so many options to even go for dives underneath the turrets. And you do have the teleports for Rookie and the Shy, but by the time they come in, one of IG is already dead, and you should be able to carry that fight forward, 4 versus 5, but not looking to make that play happen quite yet. And instead, it does mean that you get that tower answer from the bottom side, a bit more gold in towards the Shy, who's got triple cloth armor. And just like, oh my god, I do not want to die to any sort of AD damage.
Yeah, this Wukong, this Lee Sin, giving him a hard time. I do just want to quickly revisit the CS numbers, because we saw the Shy had built a lead, Ning had built a lead, but the top lane has been evened up now with the Shy 0-3 and 0. We've got Xiaopeng, who's actually ahead in CS in that jungle role. And when you look at the other two roles, it's either even or in favor of DMO right now.
And you're seeing that reflected in the gold. We're 16 minutes into the game, and there's a 2k gold lead going over towards DMO. This is only going to get accentuated now as well. When they get this Rift Herald, they can pop it down in the mid lane. And even with Dragon up, you then create this opportunity where they can get pressure on mid with the Rift Herald and also get that Dragon.
The one thing that I'm a little bit nervous
What he's
about
skeptical
here
about
is that even though right now everything looks really good for DMO, and I'm excited
I know where
for
this
DMO,
is going.
it's still IG, right?
That's the like.
This is the star power I always talk about, where it's like, look, I can never count this team out. Even when they're behind, I always feel like, but we could just see them make an insane play and win the game.
We could, but we've also seen them screw up and get caught out and lose the game. So
that's true.
They give it and they take it. And right now, they are giving a lot to DMO, who will crack open this mid lane turret. They've also sent Xiaopeng down towards this dragon that we were talking about. So DMO right now are looking super strong. And with the way IG's composition wants to work, unless they end up in these crazy skirmishes and DMO does get caught out, I think DMO have a good answer for what IG are trying to do.
I've been so impressed by DMO this game, just in that these fights have been going their way when it comes to these mechanical skirmishes trying to outplay each other. DMO have been the ones winning those out, which I'm not going to lie, coming into the series was not the way I would have expected those fights to go. But it goes back to the fact that this DMO roster has serious potential and it has some serious talent in the line.
And the thing was that they had some of the lowest first blood percentage in the LPL. So for them to be out and active in the early stages is something that has been lacking from their play for quite a while. So seeing this early game, seeing this mid-game shot calling really does start to give me hope that maybe we're starting to see this new DMO. Maybe all these roster shuffles have actually netted something far more positive for this line.
It makes me feel like these, you know, the first 6 games that they lost in a row wasn't just losses for the sake of losses, right? It felt like there is something that has been learned there, you know? It was a learning process, and, you know, now they're getting towards the other side of that, and we're starting to see a much more coherent team on the Rift.
What's the evolved form of Caterpie? I can't think of the name of it.
Evolve, Adapt, Overcome?
No, the evolved form of Caterpie in Pokemon. It's like you go into the
it's
Metapod.
Metapod.
And
so
now
this is the Metapod squad?
was where they're just getting beaten up as 0-6. They can't do anything except harden. And then you get to the eventual stage where now we've got Butterfree and they actually look like they're doing some good things.
Now we got full-on string shots coming out. They've got Stun Spore coming out, Sleep Powder, all kinds of gravy coming on onto the Rift here. I don't know why I said Gravy, but Free, not a huge Gravy fan, I'd assume, since
You
it's
never
a
know.
butterfly.
Who knows?
But to be fair, I've never fed
You've
a
been talking
Butterfree.
a lot about gravy the last few days. You
I
even
just
had one
really
yesterday
like
with those
gravy.
gravy pancakes. I was like, you're a little bit strange, my
I'm
friend.
from Yorkshire,
Sorry.
okay? We have a lot of gravy in Yorkshire. Gravy is sort of, I would say it's sort of the lifeblood of Yorkshire. I mean, Yorkshire puddings basically don't exist without gravy.
That is fair. That is fair. But it's still a strange obsession to have.
No, it's not.
Maybe it's just, you know, the
This is
homesickness
perfectly
starting to come
normal.
in.
Anyone that doesn't think this is perfectly normal, you're the weird one. And that's my final statement on the topic.
We'll leave it there, I suppose. You get the Shy is pushing in on this bottom lane, but the rest of IG are backing. So we're going to be looking in a little bit of time where we start to see these teams try and move towards the Baron area. I'm looking at Twyla. He's starting to get his items up and running. I mean, you've already got that Nashor's Tooth plus the Leandri's Torment there. He's going to hurt. He's going to do a lot of damage right now. Shubin as well, having picked up his 2 core items and still that heavy pick potential. There is the opportunity for DMO by denying some of the vision that IG haven't even got in their own jungle right now to start playing.
Oh my goodness. Shubin happy to take this trade. Look at the lifesteal he's already got for himself. Plus a red buff. He'll heal that one up. Puff finding that he can't just really go for this 1v1 anymore.
Not a hope. And yeah, you can get some of that burst damage down thanks to passive on the Kai'Sa, but Shubin is going to just heal the hell through that, especially with the flurry.
Hang on. The Shy's been caught out once again. He's 0-3 right now, but make it 0-4. And I'm seeing flashes of the losses we've seen out of IG this split.
Chalitza's looking pretty good in this matchup as well. I know he's had a lot of help, but he's actually doing a lot of work for himself. And the big thing for me was he only had a 24% win rate when we saw him on Vici. I did not have any hopes for this guy coming into DMO, but he's really starting to come into his own here.
Chalitza looks fantastic in the top lane. The Shy, not so much. And we said it before. At the end of Spring Split during the Mid-Season Cup, the strategy that worked against IG was just camp the Shy, set him up for failure, and it's working for DMO.
He's just only got armor. He's like, I don't care about Twyla. I'm never coming to a fight ever. All I need to do is try and be a nuisance to Chalitza in these side lanes, but he's not even able to do that. You saw how much burst damage was on Chalitza right now, despite all these armor items.
That was dangerous from Shubin, and you saw the Akathia raid follow him all the way to the base. Puff nearly stopped the recall. I'm not going to lie, that is one of the greediest recalls I've seen in a long time, especially against Kai'Sa.
Look, sometimes you just got to have the confidence, you know? You just got to go with the play.
Look,
I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's a thing.
I'm saying it is bad, because one Void Seeker hits you there, you're dead. You're going to go down. Puff was more than happy to pull the trigger on a play like that. He's now baiting, because the rest of the squad is waiting in the wings here.
Chalitza does have his teleport, so for these fights, you can see them picking out some of the deep wards that Chalitza has options to go towards. He could find his way into the back line of IG, and that pick potential we talked about can come through.
Hang on. Got a pick onto Xiaopeng, but he gets away with his life, and it's Reheal that takes a huge old chunk of damage there. A lot of ultimates still available. Arrow goes wide, but Reheal has to use that stopwatch. He's going to go down on this one. There's a kill going the way of Shubin, and now the chase is on. We mentioned the Freljord picks. You can't escape from Ashe. You can't escape from Braum. Rookie going to try and do exactly that, but he's slowed, and he will be stunned up. No, the taunt doesn't quite get it. Flash forward from Shubin, and a kill secure from Yui.
And DMO are looking so damn good in this game. They'll be able to get themselves onto Soul Point. Chalitza's under wraps for that, and they can turn towards this Baron. Munch, DMO are sitting nearly at a 7,000 gold lead over IG.
What am I watching right now? Because this isn't even just
Where's
DMO.
your damn star power now, Munch?
This isn't DMO taking it to IG. This is DMO stomping IG.
This is absolutely incredible. I just hope we see more of this as this series goes on. I hope this is not one and done and IG turn up the notch. But DMO right now, all praise goes to them.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to quickly say, I was nervous to get excited when they got a small lead, but now I'm getting excited for the team.
And I mean, look, I don't blame Reheal here. This is actually a really good attempt at a pick, but it was a lose-lose situation. You flash the arrow, you end up in the Glacial Fissure, or you end up just going down to that arrow regardless. And Twyla, once again, his Azir getting in real deep and making sure that he can set up more of these plays. Doesn't need to use the Emperor's Divide there. It's just about closing the distance and being aggressive on this Azir. Overall, Shubin stepping up, Twyla stepping up, Xiaopeng and Chalitza looking great. This whole squad has looked amazing. And with Yui coming in as well on this Braum, it's just offering that little bit more safety to Shubin and to Twyla so they can be a little bit aggressive in these fights, which is exactly what they want.
And just look at where the gold has gone on this team as well. Chulitza with 3 kills. We've got Twyla with 2 kills and 3 assists. We've got Shubin with 3 kills. They are so strong right now. You got a death stance there for Shubin, so he's going to be basically invincible. And the Shy might be caught out again here. DMO grouping up. But I think they're just going to settle for a red buff.
And the thing for IG is you're still waiting on this Kai'Sa to come online. She's working towards the Nashor's Tooth, going for that AP build. So she's still a way off from actually being able to compete with the damage DMO can churn out.
Twyla did not need to take that red buff, Dagda. I don't care who you are, Twyla. I don't care where you're from.
Spoken
I don't
like
care.
a true AD carry, man.
Shubin needs that red buff. I don't care if he's already got a slow. He needs another slow, okay?
He doesn't.
He does.
At all.
I'm telling you, he does. He needs that 100 gold. That's what he needs. He needs a health regen. Where's the teamwork? Where's the team spirit, Dagda? Ladies and gentlemen at home,
with you.
give your AD carry the red buff.
Unless
they
the
need
rash.
it.
Unless the rash, because then there's... It's
If
better
you're-
off on other people.
If you're beyond,
simple.
like the... Oh, hang on, we've got a hook onto Twyla here. Reheal goes in, and this is the combo that IG have been trying to set up. Yui's completely fine, though. They haven't done anything. IG, they pulled everything off, but there's just no damage. Now Reheal the next one to fall. A kill for Xiaopeng, and there's an arrow onto the Shy as Chalitza started everything off already. Down he goes, and up go DMO in the standings by the looks of this. Twyla finding another one, and into the base.
There's 30-second death timers, Munch. DMO have done it. They have taken game 1 versus IG.
I cannot believe my eyes. DMO, not just with a win, but with a stomp over IG in game number 1. 10 seconds on the death timers, and that is going to be plenty of time with an Ashe on your squad to finish these towers off and close out game number 1. And what can you say but Dominus looking dominant?
And it's about damn time. Coming off the back of that EDG series, we started to feel a little bit of hope for this team that maybe